So we'll see how to relink and everything. So maybe, yeah, let me open this one. So I have tried the solo clip yesterday. You have asked that thing, right? Yeah, unfortunately, it's not there in the application. But I found out, I find out an alternate option for that. So about smart bins, right? Hello?
Sorry?
Yeah, smart bins.
Yeah.
So yeah, smart bins, before using smart bins, sometimes we need to add metadata to a particular clip. Like we have added keywords to clips yesterday, right? Before creating, right? Let me go to the media page. So here, for these clips, we have changed the metadata, right? So here, like go to shortened scene. It's a kind of logging thing. We see these things in even FCP also. Like we can modify the metadata and everything. Here, I have added one more keyword also. Okay, by using these keywords, or maybe using people or comments, descriptions, by using any of these options, we can create a smart bin, right? Simply under the smart bins, right click, add smart bin, create add smart bin. From here, select the media pool properties, wherever you added metadata. So we added metadata for short and scene, right? Yeah, click here. Maybe within the description, you can select the people, keywords, or anything here from here. Or even you can create a smart bin by using all these options. Like the camera metadata, based on camera type, camera metadata. While shooting itself, you people have certain naming for cameras, right? Maybe ISO 1, 2, 3 are based on your shooting. If you have same metadata, we can create a smart bin by using those metadata also. Just type the name, or maybe you can use file name also. If you have rename everything, and if you want to create multiple criteria for your keywords, you can add one more section also, right? Just click here. You can add all these options. By adding all these things, we can create a smart bins, right? And yeah, that is pretty much everything about keywords, how to create keywords. And we have analyzed people and everything yesterday, right? The people option. Yeah, simply by right clicking and analyze clips for people and everything, right? And even most of the options you will find by right clicking. Anyway, we are not discussing shortcuts that much, right? And anyway, I will share you the shortcuts maybe in final session or maybe after today's session. Most of the options you will find in right click, right? Some of the options like de-interlaced options also you will find in clip attributes. You can access this option in media page as well as in edit option also, edit options. Uh, right click, maybe clip attributes. Here it will show most of the options like video attributes, the pixel aspect ratio, and here see field dominance option, like odd field, even field, upper field, lower field, de-interlacing options. So for channel people, you look for this option regularly, right? In Premiere and Final Cut Pro also, it is available in clip attributes. Clip attributes. In this kind of session, like it's 8-hour session, right? It's only 8-hour session. we may miss these kind of things. Like while discussing the metadata and everything, like we came here to see the field dominance, right? We may miss these kind of things. So it's better to make a list. You people just make a list for me so that I can explain those topics compared to whatever the application you are using, Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, fine. And, okay with the smart bins?
Okay, sir. Done.
Yeah. And let me tell you one more thing. For when you are working with audio, can you able to hear system audio?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
System audio.
No, it's not coming.
It's not coming.
Yeah.
Just a moment. Yeah.
Up eating traditional
Now?
Jewish comfort food and became
it's okay.
vegetarian at a very
It's
young
okay.
age. So my
Uh,
grandmother.
So do you people have two speaker setup?
We have only one right now.
Only one speaker, so you cannot able to hear whether it's coming from left channel or right channel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I will explain it. So go to clip attributes. Here, if you have a mono or if it is coming from a single channel, whether it's a left channel or right channel, so in clip attributes, you can set those things, right? So let's, anyway, it is showing a mono and we can add one more so that you can say it's a pre-center point thing. It will automatically distribute the channels to left and right. Okay, left and right channels audio. If you have a problem with any of the audio, you can set even attributes, or if you anyway, most of us are using copying track and pan it to the left and right, right? We can do the same thing also here. Okay.
Poultry, dairy, eggs.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, Pradeep.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's a problem from my side. Sorry.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay. So we have seen how to manage clips in the timeline yesterday, right? By using different options, by using tools, whether it's a trim tool or how to do dynamic trimming and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so we'll see in today class, we'll see most of the options related to editing. Maybe you can say it as a kind of fast forward session. Maybe we still have like 1 more hour to, we just have 1 more hour to cover everything, right?
Yes.
So I hope you people have understand the layout and the timeline, everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So and adding tracks and separating channels, we have seen this how to separate the channels and everything. So here we will see how to add keyframes and everything. Okay. That means how to use motion effects or maybe FX control in Premiere Pro, I think, right? Now, so all those settings are available in inspector window, the motion controls and everything, inspector window, right? Just click this window. If you want to open it in a, like in a larger scale, just click this triangle button, right? You can able to see all the options within the inspector window. Now we know these compositing options, like how to adjust the opacity and the blend modes and everything, right? And when it comes to opacity, if you want to simply fade in fade outs, right away you can see the handles here on the clip. You can see fade in fade out handles. Simply you can create a fade in fade outs for video as well as for audio also. And for audio, we are seeing like white dot. It will create a curve, like S curve, or maybe if you want to make it as a linear one, you can use this one, right? Right. And the next to the transform settings, like transform settings, zooming, panning, and everything. It's already linked. You just click and so transform settings reset. By seeing itself, you people can understand at zooming, anchor point, pitching, and like direct flipping options. No need to add any filter here. The flop filter or maybe the mirroring kind of thing, we can directly flip the clip here itself under the transform controls. Okay. And if you want to access the on-screen controls for transform, you will find it here. And in the corner of timeline viewer, select the transform. From here, we can able to adjust all these options, transforming, scaling, positioning, and everything. Right? So if you want to animate this thing, we can always add keywords also. Sorry, what I mean, keyframes.
Keyframes.
Right? You can add the keyframes to a particular selected one, or we can add keyframe to all the parameters. So simply maybe select. Here I'm adding a keyframe. Click, play. So I'm just adjusting the scaling, right? We can able to see the animation. It's a basic thing, right?
Yeah.
But here we can move in between keyframes, like previous keyframe, next keyframe, observe the playhead, right? If you want to delete the particular keyframe, just click the red dot. But what if you want to adjust the keyframes? Here we are not seeing anything. Like in FCP7, like in Premiere, we can able to see kind of graph, right? Under FX control, we can able to adjust the keyframe position itself. Like if you want to make it as a little bit faster one, okay? But see, when you see these two clips, when compared to this clip, here we are seeing two options. So one is curve editor and the other one is keyframe editor. Just click the keyframe editor. we can able to see the transform to whichever the parameter we have added the keyframes, we can able to see here itself. Like we can adjust the keyframe position, or if you want to see all the options, simply click this triangle. We can able to see all of the options here. Or if you want to use a particular curve, it's available, and you can make it as a linear, ease in, ease out options and everything here. Right? So here within inspector window, we can add keyframes. The same thing, when you add keyframe, we can access those keyframes from the keyframe editor or the curve editor. Okay. When you add keyframes, then only you can able to see these two options. Like if I reset everything, click this back arrow to reset everything. Now we are not seeing anything here, right? And the cropping. So I am not discussing about these things. Like we do know these options, right? How to crop, and even we can do it by using the wireframe itself, the cropping, transforming. And the next one is dynamic zoom. Okay, what is dynamic zoom? Let me show you. This is the almost it's a static shot, right? There is no camera movement in the shot, right? While playing, is there any camera movement in the shot?
No,
No, right? But
no.
what if you want to create a slight zoom in effect? What will we do? Like even in FCP7 or Premiere Pro, if we want to create a slight zoom in effect, we do keyframe transform, right? We do adjust the scaling thing. It will automatically create kind of zoom in effect, right? So instead of doing that, we can use the dynamic zoom option. See here, dynamic zoom. So same option available here also. When I select this one, you will see two colored rectangles within the canvas. Okay, right now we don't need this source viewer, right? We can hide this one by clicking this button. Now we can able to see only the timeline viewer, only the canvas, so that we can utilize the entire area. Even if you want to hide the media pool, just hide it. Okay. And even we can save this interface also. We will discuss about how to save the layouts and everything a little later. Okay. Now see, the green color box represents the starting frame. Whatever is inside the box, inside the green color box, it will be your first frame. Whatever inside the red one, it will be your last frame. You can adjust these two boxes. If I make it like this, let me enable this one. Okay, if you are not seeing these options like the cropping, dynamic stabilization, just double click here. It will open that. It will open those parameters or those options, right? Now, see, by clicking swap option under dynamic zoom, I can able to switch between those two rectangles. Now it will act as a see. Now I am creating slight zoom in effect without adding any keyframes. If I play and see, just play and see. Now we are creating a slowly zoom in effect, right? Without adding any keyframes. Not only zoom in, zoom out, you can create a like pan effect or even tilt effect also. Based on your arrangement, based on your these rectangles arrangement, we can create even the sliding effect also. Now camera slides from left to right when I play this clip. Let me make it as little bigger. Left to right, right to left, maybe tilting by arranging these positions, right? So this is about dynamic zoom. Just reset it. And the stabilization options, right? But about the stabilization, in Final Cut Pro 7, we do have only one option, right? To stabilize a clip. It's a smooth cam only.
Yeah.
So here in DaVinci, it's like a powerful stabilization. You will find this stabilization option even in color window also. Let me jump to the color portion. So under the tracking, we do have stabilization, right? So I will just explain briefly about the stabilization options in here. It will use inertia cam option. Here it will use inertia cam option and the perspective, similarity, translation and everything. Most of the time we get a shakiness in translation. That means in x-axis and y-axis, right? At that time, we need to select these options. And the cropping ratio, we all know that it will automatically zooms the clip, right? It will crop the border and it will try to zoom the clip to eliminate the shakiness within the smooth cam. But in inertia cam, it will try to analyze the pixel movement. It will try to analyze the pixel movement and it try to stabilize. So here we can choose those options here. Like it's a camera lock. Camera lock is like you can say it as a tripod mode. It will try to stabilize most of the thing, but when you click camera lock, it may zoom a little bit more when compared while disabling this one. Okay, and when zoom the crop ratio, smooth strength, we can select all these options, right? And the next option is retiming and scaling. So, but here see, retiming or speed changes, time mapping option, right? In Premiere time mapping. But here we are not seeing any of the options other than the process, motion estimation, scaling, resize filter, right? But the options related to speed, let me choose a different clip here. Yeah. Now see, by clicking these three dots, we can able to see the clip properties. This with the 24 frame rate, right?
Yeah.
The frame rate is 24. So I want to make this clip a little bit, maybe I want to play it with the 50% or maybe with the 25% speed. Now I'm adding this clip to the timeline, maybe up to here, right? Just bring it down somewhere here. So we have two types of speed changes here. By right clicking, we can access those options, right? Can you able to see these options? Change clip speed.
Yes.
And retime controls. Okay, so first we will see clip speed. Select this option. It's the same thing like FCP7 or maybe Premiere Pro, right? Speed options, the duration, frames, and ripple sequence. So we do know ripple sequence, right? It will automatically compromises with the content without changing the timeline, duration, and everything, right? Reverse freeze. Yeah, freeze frame is like kind of complicated thing in DaVinci. Like when I click freeze frame, it will make entire clip as a freeze thing. Whatever the frame we have at the playhead position, based on frame, it will create a freeze frame. I just want to show you that. So change. See, now the entire clip will be a freeze frame. We don't have the next video, right? Up to here we have video. Now from this portion, it's a freeze frame. But instead of using change speed, we have here one more option, retime controls, Command R, right? Retime controls, simply click this option. Now we can able to access this retiming thing within the clip. Just click this triangle. So change, add speed point. Add speed point is if you want to create a different speed segments within a clip without cutting the clips to make a speed ramp kind of thing, we can add speed points. Up to here, I want to add a speed point. Now, can you able to see?
Yeah.
And from here, I'm adding one more speed point. Now we can able to adjust it,
variable speed.
right? The yellow color represents we are slowing the clip, and the triangle spacing between the triangles represent we fasten the clip, right? And even we can directly change the speed also, right? We do have custom speed, and by clicking here itself we can able to adjust speed, right? Now see, observe the shape of the cursor, right? Now we can able to trim the edit point, right? But when you move little bit upwards, we can able to see the two-sided arrow. Now we can able to adjust like this within the clip, right? So let me reset everything. So just reset. Now within these options, here also we do have freeze frame, but it's a different thing. In previous case, it created freeze frame based on particular selected frame, right? But when I click freeze frame, now it holds the particular frame. Instead of creating a separate clip, now it holds the particular frame. So by default, it will create a 4 seconds hold, but we can able to adjust this thing. So close like that. Maybe, right? Go to the options, select freeze frame, adjust. So without cutting clip, we can always hold a particular frame like that. So can you able to see the difference here for direct freeze frame as well as the freeze frame option in retime curve, right? But reset clip, let me take only a bit of portion here. I just want to use only this portion. So I'm making this clip as a 25%. 25% means for a normal clip, it's too much to handle for the system, right? To play it in 100 frames. That means we are creating a 4 duplicate frames for each frame, right? But we are not seeing that much smooth effect here, right? That means we are using duplicate frames only. But if you want to make it, can you able to see the jerkiness here within this clip, right? Now if you want to smooth it out, you will find some options here in under retiming and scaling. Okay, so retime process, click here. So have you seen these options anywhere in like Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro?
Yeah, FCP 10 it is available.
the nearest neighbor and frame blending.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
available in
we do have
FCPT.
frame blending option in Final Cut Pro. It will try to
Yes, yes.
blend the frames by using opacity, right? Duplicate frames. But optical flow is the new one. So based on your clip, based on the frame rate, it will try to take some time to analyze the clip. It's like advanced option. It will try to create a new frames instead of creating a duplicate one. So here I am selecting optical flow, but under the motion estimation. So if you want a better result, always select speed wrap. So it will try to push all the options, but it is based on your machine hardware setup. So if you want to, like, okay, if you want to compromise with the smoothness and everything, you can use these two options: standard faster, standard better. Okay, if you want a better one, select the speed wrap. Here I am selecting the speed wrap. It will take some time, but even though I click play button, you can see right now I am playing only how many frames? Can you able to see the frame number while playing here? It is playing only 4 frames per second. Can you able to see here? It will show you playback frame rate here. Right? But so it needs to render the clip. Okay. To render the particular clip, rendering, when you add any filter, when you add any fusion titles, it needs to render that portion to playback smoothly. So for that, right click on the clip. Here we have one options. So render cache fusion output, auto, right? So auto means for some clips based on your playback settings here. So under render cache, you will see these two options, smart user. If it is a smart, if it requires, then only it will render the particular clip. So otherwise it won't render the particular clip. Now you can able to see the red color line, right? So when you change that option, then only you can see the red color line, but it is slowly changing it to the blue color. Can you able to see? That means it will automatically generates a render file based on your settings. By default, it will start after 5 seconds. Okay. So if you want to change those settings, go to DaVinci, Preferences, right? So user, so go to, sorry, editing. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused with the project manager and the preferences. It always happens with me. Project settings. Yeah, can you observe the mouse pointer when I try to move it? It is showing some kind of lag because it is analyzing that clip. So that's what makes your machine slow down. Now we can able to see the smoothness, the project settings. So now see, under the project settings, select the master settings. So here under optimized media and render cache, here you can able to see the enable background caching after 5 seconds. And if you want to make it for, if you want to create a render for everything, you can select these options. And by default, it ProRes 422 high quality, the optimized as well as render one. You can always change it to the required one. If you want to with a little bit lesser bitrate, you can select maybe this DNX option. So, but most of us are using ProRes 422 from last 10 to 15 years, right?
Yes.
So by default, it's a ProRes 422 and optimized media. Like, do you people ever used optimized media option in any of the applications?
Not very.
Like optimized media.
No, not
No,
very.
no, no.
இல்ல நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணோம்.
We aren't using it.
Maybe let's say in FCP7, while doing log and transfer,
Okay.
right? Log and transfer, we can able to select the media type, the conversion. Then we can choose whether it's a ProRes 422 or ProRes high quality. It's nothing but optimizing media as per our requirement, right?
Okay. Okay.
And if we have multiple, if we are using multiple formats in our timeline also, we can convert them as a single format. So most of us are using ProRes 422 only. So there is a direct option in DaVinci. It will automatically converts everything to ProRes 422 if we can create a optimized media. How we create a optimized media, or how we can create a proxy media. So cancel. While importing, or maybe within the media page, we can generate optimized media, but let me show you a simple way. Select the clip, right click. Now here you have that option, generate optimized media, right? When you click this option, it will automatically generate optimized media. That means by default it will be ProRes 422 high quality, or if you want to make it as a ProRes 422 proxy, you need to change that option in project settings. Okay, fine. And
This we can do it by importing also.
when you have any optimized media, you are using any optimized media, you can use those optimized media under playback. Use optimized media if available, so that you can able to play and see pretty much everything by using optimized media, right? Yeah, we actually we have jumped from inspector into to some other options. Is there any confusion in that? But
No, but
we did maintain a flow.
For
Is
optimism.
there any confusion up to now?
Does this take any time to convert, sir? Meanwhile, we can use that
Hello?
clip for.
No. For optimizing
Hello?
the clip,
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, is there any confusion up to now about the rendering and the optimized media render settings?
Optimizing the clip.
Rajit,
You
can you
got
hear
some
me?
idea, right? Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Now let's play and see this clip. So blue color means it already rendered that clip. Now we have pretty much smooth one, right?
On the video and just showing them, asking
What is it?
video and then just show them whether even listen.
Rajit, can you hear me?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Abdul, go on.
Yeah. Okay, right.
Is there any problem with from my side?
No. Just we have one small doubt.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Go on.
Sir, does it take any time to optimize the media, sir? Meanwhile, can we use that for editing?
Yeah. It will generate in background, but we don't have any. It will not show any background process.
We don't need to wait for that.
We don't need to wait for that. Why? It will automatically generates media when available. Then only it will utilize that media in our timeline. No need to wait until the conversion is finished. Like we don't have that option to see the process also. Sorry?
After converting, it will automatically connect to our timeline, right?
Yeah, exactly. But you need to select this option. Under playback, use optimized media if available. Then only it will utilize that option. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Then can you able to see the difference between the previous one? Maybe for this clip, I'm not sure. this is actual clip, right?
Yeah.
And it's a pretty much smooth, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So while doing speed changes, just remember these options. And whereas scaling, scaling is related to spatial conformation. Okay, let me compare it with FCP7. While importing different frame size clips or maybe different resolution images in our timeline, conform to sequence, I think. We'll use that option in FCP7 to match the canvas size.
Okay.
Scale to sequence or conform to sequence. I don't remember exactly. These options are related to that thing. So it will automatically resizes the image to fit into the canvas, or if you want to stretch, if you want to fill, right? If you are using
No.
frame size doubt, yeah.
You have any standard definition clip in this project?
Okay, let me.
Just we want to see whether it is crop or fit or not.
Yeah. Okay, let me import maybe image. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's with a different resolution. Now I'm just adding it.
Okay.
Right. Select crop, but we don't need to crop the clip. By default, it will fit, and when I click fill, it will automatically fills the canvas, right? But when we use crop means if you have a higher resolution image or higher resolution clip, it will automatically crop those things. But the crop and fill are pretty much same for the higher resolution, right? Yeah. So this thing, is it cleared? Your doubt?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, fine. Right. So let me delete this one. And
இல்லனா ரெண்டு பக்கம் கட் ஆயிடும். மேலே கீழே கட் ஆயிடும். நாலு பக்கம் சேர்த்து zoom.
any doubt there?
No, sir. You can
fine.
proceed.
Yeah, fine. So, okay. Let me delete these clips. And okay, let me, the lens correction and everything. If you have, okay, let me make it as, okay, let me use this clip. Let's say we have kind of distortion. This thing. Lens correction means, do you people find a rolling shutter problem sometimes? When we shoot with the DSLR cameras, you will find a little bit stretched videos while capturing the fast moving object, or maybe while panning itself, it will create a kind of wobble effect. Like you will see these kind of things with the faster moving object. When we use DSLR only, it's right. At that time, I won't say it will resolve 100%, maybe up to 70%, it will try to adjust that clip. But here, when I click analyze, it will automatically, like if it has a problem, it will automatically analyze this and fix that thing. It's related to rolling shutter, okay? Then, same thing with the audio also, keyframing, adjusting audio levels and everything, okay? Here, let me play.
And catering company. Vegan means no animal products.
We are seeing background, we are hearing background music as well as the dialogue portion also, right? Now let me make a little bit audio levels. And we know that we can always increase audio levels, right? And if you want to add keyframes, there is no pen tool here. And you people might have, you should get this doubt. Then how to select a tracks, right? We don't have any track selection tools like in FCP7 or in Premiere Pro. We don't have much tools here other than these 4 tools. Then how can we select the tracks? Right? They provided a simple shortcuts like you can use Y, the next previous ones like Option Y and Command Y. Command Y, the backward selections, Option Y, just Y, the forward selections. You will find those options in timeline. Okay, in timeline you can like see all the options, all the shortcuts and everything, right? Video destination, lock tracking shortcuts, auto track, auto selection of the tracks, right? And right, this is about the track selection. Like we don't have insert gap option here. If you want to create a gap in between those two things, what will we do in FCP7? Just we can sometimes insert a slug, or sometimes we'll select and move the clips like this, right? So at that time, this option may be useful, like the selecting the tracks. Maybe I'm not sure, I'm not finding within the timeline menus. Yeah, we can always use the help menu. Maybe I'm selecting track selection. No. Oh, I'm unable to see those options, but I'm sure it's in timeline only, maybe under any submenus. Yeah, anyway, it's a Y and Command Y, and within the shortcut PDF, you will find these options also to select the tracks, right? And what I'm trying to do is, now I'm just creating gaps for some other clips. Maybe you can say the graphic portion. Okay. And see, while scrubbing, if you don't want to hear the audio, scrubbing audio, it's the same shortcut like in FCP7, it's a Shift S, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's the same thing, Shift S. Now we won't hear that scrubbing audio. We can enable and disable that thing. And here, by holding Option key, we can create a keyframes. We can add a keyframes. Just hold Option. Sorry, hold Option key. I'm unable to. Let me just reset everything. Hold Option, just click it. We can able to add keyframes. Same like in FCP7, or maybe even same like in Premiere also. Like we can adjust that particular portion by adding keyframes, right? And if you want to like create a ease in, ease out for that particular thing, you can always right click and select this option, right? If you want to reset. And see, for when you select audio clip, within the inspector window, you will see audio properties, right? Within the inspector window right now, we are not seeing any video properties, right? If we select any clip with the audio, now we are seeing video and audio, right? But here I am selecting only audio. Now we can able to see only audio, volume, the clip pan, even the pitching also. And that means when we slow down or fasten any audio, it will try to correct the pitch. And yeah, I missed out that option. If you try to make speed changes any dialogue portion, we won't do that thing, right? We won't make any speed changes to the dialogue portion. But sometimes while doing fit to fill, to match the timeline and length and everything, you let's say after replacing, after fit to fill, it is playing with the 90% or 110%. You won't find any difference with the video, right? For 90% and 110%. but you will find a difference with the audio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for that we do have this option also. Go to change clip speed, pitch correction. You need to enable this option. Okay. It won't change the pitch levels of that audio. It will slow up fasten the clip, right? Same thing here with the audio properties also, clip pitching. And okay, I'm not going to discuss about the equalizer and everything. Yeah, actually I'm not a dedicated audio guy. I don't use this equalizer that much. I use the presets, the voice preset, music preset, those things, not these kind of things, right? And see, when you select audio, whatever the options we are seeing here, those options we can see with the mixer, with the audio mixer. Just click here. Now we can able to see the number of tracks, audio 1, audio 2, and this is the main one. That means it's a master audio, master setting. Okay. It's a same thing like FCP7, right?
Yeah.
We can able to adjust the track audio levels.
Poultry, dairy, eggs, honey. I grew up
Can you able to see the difference here, right? And this is the master one. Okay. And if you add any track, it will automatically represent here. But let me disable the audio track. I'm just disabling the audio track. That means I'm just muting it out. Click. Now we can able to see only the music track, right? Now, if you want to use a panning option, just double click this diagram, the dynamics one. Simply click it. It will automatically opens these options. We'll use these options even 5.1 also, like to adjust the front and back, the rear surrounding speakers, and this is for panning. For this one we'll use only this one, left and right. Okay. Now see, I do anyway. You people have a single speaker or a 2-speaker setup in that monitor.
So, single speaker only.
Okay, then I don't think you can see the difference here. You can hear the difference. Now see, we can able to, this thing is like you're sitting here at this place. You can consider this one as a room. Okay, this is the center speaker area. This is the left and right speaker area, and this is the rear left, rear right surrounding. Okay, and when you have 5.1 setup, you from audio guy you will get six audio channels, right?
Yes.
You will find the low frequency effect channel also, and we
Yes.
know that it should come from all the speakers. So we will arrange, we'll make it this one as the destination for LEF, LFE, low frequency effect audio. Now for this clip, if I move it to the left, now I am hearing everything from the left channel. Okay, and if I move it right, and I am hearing everything from the right one. It's the same thing with the inspector window also. The panning, writing, and even we can animate from left to right, right to left. We can animate by using the clip pan also, right? Maybe in later session we'll see with the multiple tracks. Any doubt? Yeah.
Okay, sir. Proceed, sir. Nothing.
Okay, fine. And if you have more than one track, usually you people use, I think 8 to 12 tracks, right? You need to adjust multiple tracks at a time, audio levels of multiple tracks at a time. Okay. I will cover that topic in Fairlight page, right? How to create a submix, right? How to create a submix and how to assign particular channel to submix. Pretty much same. I will try to explain it in a easy way. Okay?
Okay.
How to create a submix and everything. And so let's get back to edit page. So this is pretty much everything about the keyframes. I think now you people have overall idea about the keyframes, the curve editor, the audio keyframes and video keyframes, right? Right.
Okay.
And someone asked me the soloing clip option.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Yes.
Most of the time you people using that option while doing multicam edit. I hope so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? In FCP7, why you are not using multicam option in FCP7? Yeah,
No, the main issue is with the server bandwidth.
Okay, fine. And even the camera setup also, it won't allow with the different frame size and different frame rate clips in FCP7 to do multicam.
Yes.
Right? So that most of the people follow the manual method only. But here, what I have found is like, let's say we have okay, this option will adjust all the track heights at a time. If you want to make only one track bigger or smaller, you can use these controls here. Okay. Now let me copy. It's the same thing, option, holding option, it will duplicate the clip. So we can disable particular clip by right clicking. It's a simple shortcut D. Okay. But for soloing clip, if necessary, I don't think after the next class, we are going to discuss multicam in next 30 minutes. After this, it won't be necessary, I think. But select all the clips, right? Select all the clips. Whatever the clip you want to see, just command click that one and click D. It will disable everything. It will like it's a other than this we don't have any other option. there is no actually soloing clip option in DaVinci.
Okay, fine.
For tracks we can able to disable enable. Other than this we don't have this option. But if you want to compare multiple clips at a time, multiple clips means if you have different takes of clips, different takes, we can add all those takes at a time to the timeline, and we can choose whatever the clip we want. It's a kind of auditioning clips. Before doing that, we know how to close the gaps, right? Select and delete. Or if you want to close all the gaps at a time, go to edit menu. You have this delete gap option. Okay, it will close all the gaps. But we know if you have a gap throughout that place in all the tracks, then only it will consider as a gap, right? Yeah. So at that time, if you don't want to affect the remaining tracks while closing gaps, you can deselect that one, so that whatever the operations you are doing, it will only affect the selected tracks only. Okay, right, like that. And as for the audition, let's say I have 3 more clips at this dialog portion. I want to add and see those clips other than this one. So instead of adding and deleting those clips, right click on that particular clip. We have one option called take selector here. Take selector. Click here. It will disable everything. It will select only that particular. Nothing will happen here other than for that particular clip. Now with the selection, with the in and outs, or maybe you can add overall clip also, simply drag into that thing. Okay, maybe I'm trying to add this clip also. Right now I have 3 clips at this portion, right? I have 3 clips at this portion. Now whatever the clip you are selecting, it will show only that particular clip. So you can see whether it's suitable or not. And we have here one option, it will try to ripple that thing, ripple that timeline based on the selected clip duration. If I select this one, the middle clip with the lesser duration, it will automatically ripples the entire timeline. Okay, so select whatever the clip you want and simply close that portion. Okay, and we still have those clips here. When you double click this one, it will automatically opens up that window, and I just want to use only this clip, the centered one, the close. If you want to stick with clips, right click and you can finalize that audition, you can finalize that take, and it will remove all the clips. So if you have multiple takes, try doubt.
No, sir.
No. We are just adding multiple clips to the particular portion, and we are, without adding and deleting, we can able to see the proper edit by using take selector. Okay. And under the right click, you will find link clips. You know this option, right? It will automatically links the clips with the separate audio or with multiple clips. And we do have one more option here, the new compound clip. The new compound clip. The compound clip is nothing but nesting. We do nesting, right? We can group the clips, right? Let me, yeah, I'll do one thing. I'll move these clips only audio. By holding audio, we can select only audio or video without disabling the link tool, right? It's the same thing when throughout every editing application. Now this is a one particular scene. Let me delete this clip, sorry. I want to create a group by using these clips. Simply right click, create a new compound clip. It will ask you for a name. Let's naming it as a testing, and it will automatically saves that compound clip here in our browser, right? It's the same thing, and you will see the symbol for the compound clip. So what if you want to make changes to a compound clip? If you want to make any changes to a particular compound clip, simply right click on the compound clip, a particular compound clip, click open in timeline. Okay, click open in timeline. Now we are inside the compound clip. Now you can able to see the testing here, or if you want to see it as a separate tab, yesterday we have discussed, right, this thing, the timeline view options. Select this option. Now, yeah, now we can see the testing here. Let me close this one. Testing. This is our regular timeline. This is our compound clip. Whatever the modifications you want to do, just do the modifications. I don't want this clip, and just go back to the previous one, or maybe you can close that particular thing also. Okay, this is the different timeline. Actually, this is our timeline, right? Now, whatever the modification you did, it will reflect to the browser clip. Okay, this is nothing but nesting. If you want to add filters to a group of clips, if you have a multi-layered composting work, if you want to make it as a single clip, then this is the option, compound clip. And what if you don't want the grouping thing? If you want to ungroup, I don't want I don't want this compound clip. I just want the clips same like earlier one, right? Right click and you will find this decompose option, decompose in place, right? Just click this option. It will automatically goes back to the previous, whatever the way it goes back to that thing, right? And for the compound clip, it's a new clip. You will have a new attributes like the keyframing and everything is the same for the compound clip. Okay. Right. And okay, there is one option. I don't think you people do find this option in Final Cut Pro 7 or in Premiere Pro. I'm not sure. We can able to select multiple edit points also. Like you have some layered kind of thing here. If you want to select all the edit points, is it possible to select all the edit points in any other editing application?
Yeah, in Premiere.
In Premiere, yeah, maybe I'm not sure about that. But here we can able to select these options. We can able to trim, adjust all the clips. So I don't know with Premiere does have this option.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay.
FCP 7 also.
FCP 7 also. Yeah, okay. Maybe I never tried that option. I find it very useful one. And we do have one option. We can directly trim out the top and tail option. I'm sure we don't have this option in FCP 7. We do have this option in Premiere. The top and tail directly trims to the playhead. Right. Let me show you this option. If you want to trim the end portion of the clip, what will we do? We'll simply drag like this, right? But we do have go to trim menu. We do have trim start, trim end options. So you can use shift M automatically trims to the playhead. Undo. If you want to trim starting portion, square brackets. It's Q and M, I think, in Premiere. QW.
Yes, yes.
QW. Yeah, same options we have here. Trim start, trim end. Under the trim menu, you will find these options. Okay. And if you want to ripple your timeline, you should be in either trim tool or you can use another combination of keyboard shortcut, shift command, square brackets. It will automatically ripples the timeline. Instead of overwriting and everything, it will automatically ripples your timeline. Okay, while trimming. And so this is most of the basic stuff for the daily edits, right?
Yeah.
Other than this, do you people have any other requirement like only for the edit page? And some simple shortcuts are there, like we use X, we use C to select the clips wherever the playhead, and we use V. It's the same shortcut for FCP 7 also. It will move and selects the nearest edit point, right? And we'll use U to select either of the edit points, left or right edit points. And you can use option U to select audio or video edit points. It's the same thing like any other track-based editing applications. And we do have most of the things when compared to Premiere or FCP 7. Okay, did you people find all those options? Almost, right? Let me show you one new option. And within the timeline, here we created a timeline, a separate bin for timelines. Or if you want it to be an automatic thing, whenever you create a timeline, it will automatically create a smart bin for timelines. But you need to enable this option. Okay, I think it's in preferences. I'm not sure. Preferences. Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah, smart bin for timelines. You need to select this option so that instead of creating a separate bin for timeline, it will automatically create a smart bin for your timelines here. Okay. Now, here we have starting version as well as a ending version of our project, right? Starting version and ending version of our project. Now I want to compare and see both the versions, both the timelines at a time. Yesterday we have seen stacked timelines so that we can open multiple timelines, but now we will see how to compare the timelines. Now this is the timeline we have opened, right? See the tick mark, and I want to compare this timeline with this one. Simply right click. Here we have one option called compare with current timeline. Compare with current timeline. Select this option. It will open up a new window. But it's somewhat difficult to see the difference, right? Now just zoom out a little bit by using this knob. Now see, different color represent different clip. Whatever, wherever the lines you are seeing here, the lines and everything, see the yellow color represents the change in that particular clip. That means you have added these clips in a particular timeline. Red color means in whatever the timeline we are comparing, you don't have those clips in a first timeline. This is the difference. And like it's a kind of complex thing. You can match everything by simply right clicking either the selected one already or in the timeline one. If you click apply accept changes, it will automatically, wherever the changes are there, it will modify the entire timeline for the selected timeline. Okay, but if you are working with a different version, then only it will useful. For the, if you want to compare with the yesterday's version, today's and yesterday's version, then only it will useful, right? So once work is done, simply click close. And we do have some features like automatic syncing, audio syncing and everything within the edit page. Okay, let me import a suitable clip for that one. Let's say this is the original audio, and I'm using these two clips. And okay, instead of using import window and everything, we can always drag and drop also, right? Now, this is the audio, this is the video with pilot audio, whatever the audio recorded in camera, and this is from audio where the original one, the final mix, you can say final mix. And after finishing work, if you get these kind of things, how can you sync these two clips, audio and video? I think we do have this option in Premiere, but not in Final Cut Pro. Yes, Premiere Pro, we do have that thing, right? So here also, simply select, right click, and when you right click, you will find this option. You will find this option, auto sync audio, and based on time code, when we have audio, we don't use time code that much, right? We do use audio waveform shape only to sync this. So here I'm using based on waveform. We have two options, based on waveform and append tracks. Now here I'm selecting based on waveform. Click this one. It will automatically synchronizes everything. It won't create a new clip. It will automatically add to this clip now. Can you able to hear the difference from the previous one? But let me show you one thing. Right click, auto sync. When you select this option, it will automatically disables the original audio within the video clip. But if you want to see both the clips for audio and video, both the audio clips based on waveform and append track, select this option. Now right click. Oh. Now add this clip to your timeline. Now don't go with the color because we have changed the color for the particular track, right? You can always change the color for particular track. For music track, I want see, we do have that option to add color for entire tracks and for the particular clips also. If you want to make every clips in a particular track, for music track, I want this color, for dialogue track, I want this color. You can make changes to that one. Just right click and change track color. Okay. So that's why we are seeing this color changes in these two tracks. But the thing is, the first one is the original one and the second one is the added one. Okay. When you click append option, you will see both the tracks. What you need to do is you need to disable the tag. Instead of doing that, simply you can select the direct option. Based on waveform, it will automatically disables the original audio. Okay. So these kind of like options, we do have lots of options in editing. I don't think we can cover everything in these sessions. Actually, today we do have to discuss multicam also, but it's already 1.5 hours. But anyway, I will start the multicam today. Anyway, it is the most useful option for you guys, right? Multicam edit. And we'll try to continue the multicam as well as tomorrow itself we'll start the color or maybe the Fairlight audio option also, right? Okay. Do you want me to start the multicam today itself?
Yeah.
Okay,
We can go.
We can go. Okay, fine. Do we have Kolkata guys?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, fine. Okay. So I have already created a separate project for multicam.
Okay.
So simply click project manager. Everything is showing media offline, but I already relinked the most of the media, but it is not reflecting at a time. Maybe after restarting, it will show you the thumbnails and everything. So here we have a multicam lesson. Okay. But see, what if you want to open multiple projects at a time? See, right now we are in radio edit, right? But when I try to open this project, it will automatically closes that project. Right? Now we are seeing only this project. We do have one option, right click. Dynamic project switching. Dynamic project switching means you don't need to close it will not close the project. You can open multiple projects and you can switch between the projects in project manager. Okay, fine. Dynamic, you need to enable dynamic project switching. Fine. And before starting multicam edit, let me show you one thing. Anyway, we are here in project manager. So whatever the backups, we have seen how to save the backups and backup location yesterday, right? The hourly backup, daily backups. Have you seen it? Not sure?
5 minutes.
Okay, let me quickly go through that one. Close. DaVinci Resolve preferences. Go to user. Project save and load. Select this one. Here, by default, it's a 10 minutes. So for every 10 minutes, for even we have hourly backup also. 2 hours, but we don't need a 2-hour backup. You can make it as like maybe 5 hours, 6 hours, and daily backup maybe sometimes. The backup location by default it will, if you are using a Mac machine, it will goes to your movies folder. How can you retrieve from backup? If you have any problem with your current timeline version, how can you retrieve from backup? So within the project manager, right click. So load project backups here. Select load project backups and you can see the available projects. Select any other thing and it won't overwrite the current one. It will create a separate one. It will ask you to change the name and everything when you double click it. Okay, right? So now let's go to multicam. Yeah, there is a problem with my DaVinci right now. I'm going to close this one. Is there any plan for full-fledged training? You people are not sure about that, maybe.
Yes, of course. Right now, not sure.
So after the session, after starting using and everything, then the management will decide, maybe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Okay. So let's jump into multicam. So I will, for today, I will start with the simple one. Tomorrow we'll continue with the complex one. Okay. With multiple clips from a single camera. Okay. With a different time code or maybe the angle adjustments and everything. Okay. So for today, maybe, yeah, not this much simple. Okay, we'll try to use the 3 camera angles maybe. Okay. And here we have a master audio also. So first I'm not going to use the master audio. First we'll try to sync the clips. We'll see 2 ways. One, we can do multicam in edit page. If it is a simple one with the 2 clips or anything, we can do with the cut page also. Most of the editors, they don't use cut page that much. They have some limitations in the cut page, but we do have the syncing options here also. Now see, I'm not using audio. I'm just selecting the clips, and we do have sync option here. So by clicking sync, it will open up a separate window. So pretty much similar to the multicam window, right? At the center of this window, we are seeing the time code option. You can use the time code, you can use the audio, and even you can use in and out points. But here I'm using only audio because so most of the clips are with the same audio. Select audio and click sync. It automatically syncs the audio. Based on audio, it will automatically syncs everything. So click save sync. Okay. Now see, these are all synced clips. Drag any of the clip into the timeline. Okay. And to see the multiple angles, click sync bin. Click sync bin. Now we can able to see the multiple clips. Now you can switch in between angles. Exactly at this place, I want to show the drummer clip. When I select the drummer clip, so observe the bottom of the canvas. Now we have a particular selection here, right? By default, it will select only 5 seconds. You can able to see here only 5 seconds, but you can adjust it. Let me tell you a thing here. This is not a professional kind of multicam edit here. I just want to show. We have discussed most of the options in CutPage yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So we left these options, the sync bin and sync option. So I'm making sure that to cover all those things, right? And after selecting this, you need to click this option, source over, right? It will try to connect that particular clip at that particular portion. Now play. I want to select the guitarist. Now click source override. Right now, disable. Let me change this one. So select the timeline. Now, if you want to play and see, maybe I'm selecting. I just want to go to the media pool. Okay. Now see. Now you can disable audio. We don't have much options in CutPage, but same thing we can do with the edit page in a professional way. Right? If it is a quick multicam edit, you can do it in CutPage without switching audio and everything. But we'll start with the professional one, right? So delete this one and music video. So I'm going to delete this one also. Now simply select these options, right click. You will find create new multicam clip using selected clip. Create new multicam clip using selected clip. Simply select this option. Now you can see the similar to some other editing applications, like you can choose the frame rate and everything, angle sync. Here we have multiple options. So we can use in point, out point, time code, sound, even the marker also. Okay. So based on marker also, we can able to sync the angles, but we need to identify the common point for each and every camera angle, right? So in television, most of the time you people get time code, right? The proper time code for everything, right? But here I'm using sound. So click sound, create. It will automatically create some multicam clip, right? Now, before that, let me clear in and outs for that thing. We have added in and outs in CutPage. To clear the in and outs, it's the same shortcut, Option X. Option X, and by right clicking here, you will find even the split options also. The audio video split. It will separate the audio and video in and outs. Only audio in, only audio out, right? We do have these options for split edits here also. By right clicking, blue represents the video portion, green represents the audio portion, right? Now remove everything. Select these clips, right click, create new multicam clip using selected clips. And if you, here we have one option. It's the same thing like in Premiere Pro. It will create a separate bin for multicam clips, right? Now here I am selecting sound, click create. It will create a new clip. If you want to see the preview, the canvas will show you the preview, okay? And simply drag it to the timeline. Now, if you want to load your multicam clip in the viewer, select this, select multicam clip. Now you can able to see multiple angles. But it's a very simple one. We'll discuss about the complex one in later. So see, maybe here if you want to add both audio and video from a particular camera angle, let me show you play. Now we are adding both audio and video to the timeline, right? But I want to stick with the one clips audio. Undo. Here you can select whatever the audio I want to make the wide angle one as a source audio. Now simply click video. Now we are switching only between videos. Now we are not cutting audio here. Can you observe this one? And you will find most of the options like switching angles by right clicking here, or you can use like a shift command, left arrow, right arrow directly to change within the timeline instead of selecting here. Or even if you want to switch directly from the canvas, hold option key and click it. It will automatically replaces the particular camera angle. Okay. But let me undo this one. If you have a proper audio, select all the clips. Let me select all the clips, right click, create new multicam clip by using sound audio. Just click create. Now we need to select the first one as an audio source. If you have master audio. But what if you want to change the camera angle within the canvas, right? It is not possible to change the position of these clips here. I want to make this one as a first camera angle, make this one as a second camera angle. For that, we need to open the multicam clip in timeline so that we can do modifications and everything. Okay, here we can able to like move track upwards or downwards so that we can able to make changes to a, let me, yeah, this one, track downwards. So when I switch back to this one, it will automatically, can you able to see the difference? Now the audio waveform will be your second angle, right? So like that we can switch in between angles. Okay, but this is the basic version of multicam edit. This is the basic version of multicam edit. In tomorrow class, we'll discuss the most advanced version of multicam edit. So after creating the multicam, how can we add some other angles to a multicam clip? Okay, what if we have multiple clips from a single camera? So we'll discuss those things in next session. That means in tomorrow session, and how to color correct a multiple. It's a necessary thing, right? The color correction for the multicam clips. Even you can able to see the bottom two angles with the saturation levels and exposure levels, right? How to match those things we'll discuss in the next session, tomorrow session. Okay.
Okay.
Any doubts from today's session?
No,
Ajit,
Yeah. Go on, sir.
when we take the nest, when we create a nesting sequence, just like a Premiere.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
How can we create the nesting sequence? Okay, just think in the browser of the Premiere section, when you drag the sequence to the timeline portion, create a whole clip. Just see like a whole clip. So is it happening in the DaVinci Resolve also?
No, sir. In Premiere, we do have that option. We can see it as a single clip as well as a separate clips, right? When you drag it to the timeline, that nesting clip. But in DaVinci, we don't that option. In DaVinci, we don't that option.
Okay.
we just need to drag it. Either you can see it as a simple clip, sorry, single clip. When you decompose it, you will see the layered clip.
Okay.
And we do have match frame and everything, or you can click F to match frame. Let me open up a new project. Maybe, okay, let me simply click F. It will automatically match frame, or you can use these keys to match the particular frame and everything. And when you comparing the timelines, let me let me make some changes in this clip. Okay. Now when you comparing the timelines, so by double clicking, you can able to see both the timelines, one in the viewer, one in the canvas section, so that you can able to compare, or even you can link the playheads also to play and see with the both the timelines at a time. Yeah, let me close this one. Yeah, actually I'm trying to cover each and everything in a possible way. I'm not sure I can able to cover each and everything. Okay. You people need to explore the application. When you have any doubt, at the end of the session, I will leave my mail ID and as well as phone number. We'll be in touch. Maybe you can WhatsApp me whether you have any doubt. So we'll happy to support you guys. Okay. For 5 minutes, any doubts?
Sir, can we do
Can we do?
So I would like to ask, can we do multi-layer compositing in DaVinci?
Multi-layer compositing means you are asking about multi-layered one?
For example, if it, in a footage, if this sky is not good, if I want to add some additional sky to that footage, can I do that?
Yeah, that's very simple one. That's very simple one. Maybe
Text and all.
yeah, text and all. We are going to discuss everything, text and all. But the masking options you won't find in edit tab. Whatever the masking options. But let me show you in a quick way for this clip. Okay, we do have sky here, and okay. So we don't have any suitable clip. I just want to use this clip. Maybe in point, out point. I'm just adding it to the timeline. Now see. In a sky place, you want to see the bottom clip, the bottom section, or maybe like that, right? You are asking? Is that right?
For example, sir, in this right side window, one sky I can see, but the sky is flat. I want to add some different sky with clouds.
Yeah,
So
you
it's
can do
possible
that
to
thing.
do that.
First, we need to import whatever the stock footage related to cloud, then arrange layers like this. You can do it in Fusion, but I will show it in a simple way. Go to color. Okay. So when you go to color, you can able to see here our timeline also. Right? We can able to see the timeline, and you can mask out that particular portion. And if it's a sky, you can use the qualifier also to simply select that particular portion. But here I'm just using a power window masking. I'm just doing it in a rough way. right? We just selected that thing, right? Now within the node window you can able to see the masked area. Okay, but we want to make it as a alpha channel. For that we need to create a alpha node here, add alpha output, right? Now anyway, I will explain about nodes and everything in next session. What are the different kinds of nodes and everything here. Add alpha output. Now you can able to see one more output for alpha. Now simply select, drag that one, but it's a kind of invert thing, right? Now you can use the soften and everything, simply invert that sky. Now this is what you are asking pretty much, right? The replacing sky and everything.
Yes, sir. Actually, we can do this way also. And can we do a color selection since the sky is blue? And
Yeah, we do have that option.
electron,
That's what I'm saying. Either we can use the masking or we can use the qualifier also. You can simply select, let me disable that node. You can simply select that one. Okay. You can use highlighter or you can use a black and white, the selector. You can like clean out the whites and clean blacks, or we have like lots of tools, the feather and everything, the color range and everything. So same thing, we need to do the same one. Okay, so disable the highlighter and invert the selection and everything. This we can do in Fusion also in an advanced way, but Fusion is a kind of complicated thing. Like we should know at least the basic node based compositing application, so that we can able to use all the options like same here. And we do have lots of masking tools, mask paint, unsharp volume mask, even the trackers and everything, and like the merge nodes and everything. We are going to discuss about Fusion while dealing with the chroma key. Okay, if you want to make it as a simple masking, the color page is the easier one, but the better one is the Fusion one. But at least you should know about the basic compositing, where to link the nodes. I will try to explain. So what represent what. Okay. Like we can easily create a Fusion clip here, right? When you open a Fusion page, it will automatically create a merge node for these things, and the first one and the last one, how to mask and everything, the what is alpha, what is in, what is out. I will try to like explain everything, most of the thing. I'm not sure we can cover everything, right?
Okay.
So for masking, this is the useful option, useful and the flexible option. And the one more thing is, after you masking, you can track it also. If there is a camera movement, it will automatically tracks the entire thing.
Okay.
The basic rotoscoping. Okay. Anyway, we'll discuss about the tracking and everything in next session. Continuing with the multicam. Okay. Hello. 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 So can you able to hear me?